in calling balls and strikes. But you can now challenge whether you agree with the human being's decision. The people who can challenge are the pitcher, the catcher, and the batter. That's it, and they must do so immediately. They can't look into the dugout for advice. They have to make the decision immediately. And you're allowed 3 challenges. If you are correct in your challenge, meaning the call gets reversed by the computer, then you keep that challenge and you can keep using as many. Now, I thought that since you only get 3, I thought there might be a little bit of strategy. You might be looking for like a really key moment late in the game. You might be saving them. That has not been the case, gentlemen. There was 13 challenges on Wednesday. There was 17 challenges in yesterday's game. 13 of the 17 challenges went successful for either, again, the pitcher, the catcher, the batter. This whole process takes about 5 to 10 seconds. It's really, really quick. So put it this way, the home plate umpires have not looked very good, just with the quantity of calls that have been challenged and the quantity that have been reversed.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I was going to ask you, does this, make the game a little longer? But you said it only takes, 5 to 10 seconds? So it's not like we're sitting and we're having to wait, and this is like other sports like football where you're like, hurry up, we see what happened here. This happens boom, boom in the moment, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very similar to tennis in that, the home plate umpire just kind of taps his head, he turns around, points to the press box. They have a big, huge video board here at Constellation Field on straightaway center, and then you see the trajectory of the pitch. You see it come in. You see it from 3D at three different angles, and the scoreboard says ball or strike. So it happens really, really fast. I would say on average it's about 5 seconds, maybe 7 seconds or so. So it's really not slowing the game down any. If anything, just the idea that if you're upset with the umpire, rather than kicking and being mad and yelling something and doing all these theatrics, you just say challenge, and then we just find out right away. So I was not expecting 30 challenges in 2 nights. It has been something, and it has had a profound impact on the game. There was 2 different points in the first inning yesterday where the home plate umpire called third strike, batter is out, inning is over, isotopes are starting to walk off the field. The batter says no, challenge. The challenge occurs. You look up on the video board, it gets reversed. The at-bat continues. The inning continues. On the next pitch, Pedro Leon hit a 3-run homer. So you're talking about a huge difference in a game. Instead of the inning being over on a bad call by the umpire, the inning continues. He hits a 3-run homer, and then later in the inning, the exact same thing happened with this guy named Alex Tagoti. He took a called third strike to end the inning. He says challenge. It gets reversed. The at-bat continues. He delivers an RBI single. If it wasn't for this challenge system, there would have only been 1 run scored by Sugar Land in the first inning yesterday. But because of the challenge system, they scored 7.
Wow. What's the reception in the crowd? Because, there's always hecklers wrapped right around home plate. Boo, you suck, you're an idiot. Now, instead of just being some jerk in the crowd, now you got receipts.
Yeah.
Now you can say, you suck. I have data.
Look at the board.
Well, especially the fans who are closest to me, anytime there's a borderline call, they just start yelling, challenge! Challenge that! Which I think is really funny, guys, because for the last 4 months, I would say the overwhelming majority of fans in the ballpark don't realize that a computer is calling balls and strikes. They just assume that the umpire is calling balls and strikes. But now that there is this, you can't miss it now. It's up on the video board. There's a full-on, that pitch is being challenged, and you see it come in and all that. So now everybody at the ballpark knows what's happening. And seriously, the number of people who are yelling, challenge, all the time is actually quite hysterical.
It's like having the principal in your classroom every day. It's like you can't get away with anything. Is there any type of system where they grade the umps or anything like that? Or is it just, hey, you got egg on your face for this play?
Yeah, no, you just got egg on your face. It's just, you just move on, right? And I've been trying to, analyze, too, what calls are the umpires missing, right? And in last night's game, I would say the call that most often got challenged and got reversed was a pitch up in the strike zone. And I want to say that there was probably 5 of the 17 that we had last night. The pitch was up. The umpire called it strike 3. The batter said, "Oh, no, let's review that." And indeed, it turned out that it was not just a little bit high, but that it was drastically high. And I think this is going to be really interesting when we kind of look ahead about the direction that baseball is going, because I know that one of the things that the New York office of Major League Baseball is trying to avoid is basically get the high fastball out of baseball, because it's really hard to hit it. And so they're trying to get away from having so many strikeouts and having so many walks. It's a hard pitch for batters to lay out, because you see a fastball up and you think, "Ooh, all right, I'm going to swing at this."
Yeah.
And I did think that as yesterday's game went along, there were some pitches that were up in the zone, and I felt like the umpire earlier in the game was calling them strikes. And then by the end of the game, after the number of challenges proved that his strike zone was wrong, he was no longer calling that pitch as high. So I felt like there was an immediate adjustment for the home plate umpire just as the game went along.
So are the umpires called third strikes less passionate now? Because they know that there's no there's no more of that, because if they're wrong, they got to do it twice and look like a fool.
Well, if anything, I think it becomes more important for the umpire to really sell his call, right? In order to be, because if you're kind of doubting yourself, well, that's not a good sign, because that's going to give the batter even more incentive to want to challenge that call. Again, I go back to, like, I thought that there would be a lot more just restraint, like maybe thinking, hey, I don't want to be a bad teammate here, and I don't want to blow all of our challenges early in the game, especially if it's just the first pitch of an at-bat or the second pitch of an at-bat. There's still a lot to happen in this at-bat, a lot to happen in the game. But that has not been the case. Players have been very aggressive using it.
Josh, before we kick it over to you for the call of the Topes game, I want to just say a shout out to our guest today, David Carl, New Mexico United, Chef LP, right here at Hollow Spirits, and Deputy AD Dave Williams. So thanks to all our partners and sponsors, John Lopez, Mexico Pinon, I-9 Sports, YMCA, Hollow Spirits, Howie's, and of course Teller Vodka. Make sure you check out the Locker 505 quiz. We'll give you some more information on that next week. The last one was an absolute success, and we're going to make this next one even bigger and better for a great cause. Support your local Albuquerque helpers. So, Josh, who so far is using it the most? I'm assuming the batters, but is it closer to 50-50 in between batters and catchers, or is it overwhelmingly the batters?
Yeah, it's been about 50-50 between the batter and the catcher. For the Isotope side, I would say that Dom Nunez has been the most aggressive, because the combination of him being the catcher, challenging calls, and then also when he's at the plate, I mean, shoot, he had 2 calls himself that he challenged that were wrong when he was at the plate. And then when he was at the plate in game 1, okay, he did not challenge any. But as the catcher, he was challenging a whole bunch. And so it's been really interesting, and we'll see if that, continues tonight. And, that's going to be the case for the next 3 games here, but it will not be the case in Albuquerque. Guys, thanks for letting me crash the end of your program. That's going to wrap things up here. You guys enjoy the weekend. We'll come back, and we'll start some Albuquerque Isotopes baseball. It's Albuquerque at Sugar Land. It's the Rockies affiliate at the Astros affiliate. And the pitching matchup tonight is Carl Coffin versus Jimmy Anderson. When we come back, we'll have all the description, all the details here from Constellation Field. This is the Albuquerque Isotopes Multimedia Network.
Why is Rio Grande Credit Union's Mariachi Visa